I'm not gonna lie, it is like 1,000 degrees in here, so I am sweating balls. So I'm just gonna breeze through this video as quickly and concise as possible so I can get me some air, because holy fucking shit. Hello brothers and sisters, my name is Daidarius and welcome to my first manga topical video. And as you probably have read in the title, I am gonna talk, or maybe even bitch, about how the schedule or release schedule for English manga are. And I'm gonna have some specific manga in mind because most of them, the release schedule is actually quite fine. But for those I'm gonna pick here, no. So before I get into the specifics in here, what am I talking about? Well, some of the special editions of some of my mangas in here have been released stupidly slow. It is unbearable and it is also unjustifiable how slowly they have been released. And I'm gonna touch upon it with each series, but just know that we are gonna touch upon 4 series. And that is it. I mean, I could also touch upon Berserk. I'm not gonna do it, but I could. However, in like 2 years, we're gonna have everything that is out right now in these deluxe editions. So that's just how it is. However, I'm not gonna touch upon that because the other series I'm gonna bring up in this video kinda explains what I'm frustrated about. So let's just dig into it right away and go with my first series, because that is the one I am most angry about. And that is Blade of the Immortal, the deluxe edition from Dark Horse. Now, what am I talking about here? Because it's Blade of the Immortal is in a deluxe edition. It has been upscaled. It's put in hardcover. So, what is the big deal? Why am I angry with this release schedule? Well, I have researched a bit and done my own calculations, so they can be off. Okay, I can't guarantee they are correct or mondo, but I'm just gonna go over here and just present you the data so you can actually just judge for yourself. So the original 3-in-1 Omnibus edition from Dark Horse of Blade of the Immortal ran from late December in 2016 until November 2019. It had a run 2 years and 11 months for 10 volumes. Do I have a problem with that? Kinda. But that is not the point here, okay? So the original release of that ran for 2 years and 11 months. Fine. And then last year, in November last year, we started this bad boy here, which is the deluxe edition of the Blade of the Immortal. So what am I angry about? Well, this, if Dark Horse is actually sticking to its release schedule, will take 3 years and 4 months to be released. Or put it another way, we will get the 10th volume in February 2024. And again, why is that a problem, you might ask? Well, here's the deal. First, it's gonna take longer for this edition to come out than it did for the original Omnibus edition. Secondly, nothing has been changed in here. The reading direction, same. The content, same. The translations, same. There is nothing new added here except that it is a bit bigger. It is in hardcover, and that is it. It does not take 4 months to make this thing. No, because you have the template already. The content of this is the same as the Omnibus. You're not adding anything, you're not putting any work in here except designing the cover, and that is fucking it. It should not take 3 years and 4 months to actually release this thing. Especially when you have already done it, I believe, twice, because Dark Horse also made the singles. This should take at maximum 10 months, 1 each month to release. I would be able to accept that, but a longer run than the original Omnibuses, hell to the fuck no, there's no excuse. And that is why this is my biggest pet peeve, is because of all the series we're gonna talk about today, is because Dark Horse has already released this, but just in a smaller scale and in paperback instead of hardcover, and now they're gonna take even longer to milk this series once more. There's no excuse, especially when you're not updating the content of the volumes. Now you might think to yourself, can it get worse? I mean, it depends on your personal preference. I mean, can it get worse than re-releasing something you have already released in the same fucking format? Maybe not. But I'm pretty sure the next 3 series is still gonna piss you off in some form or fashion, especially if you are a fan of them. So let's just jump to the next one and talk about that one. And the next series I'm gonna talk about is JoJos Bizarre Adventure. Not a specific part, just JoJos in general, because this is also taking their time. Now luckily this does not take 4 months to release 1 volume of these, like Dark Horse insist on all of its deluxe editions for some fucking weird reason. No, they're gonna settle with 3 months. That is still too slow. But anywho, let's get further into it. So what is the issue with JoJos? What is the issue with the release rate of this? I mean, it is a 2-in-1 and you're gonna get 2 volumes each, 3 months value of worth of content for JoJos. That is great, right? Not really when you consider how much is left. And there is a fuck ton left. So I've done some calculations on this because of course I have. I've taken into considerations of where part 8 is right now, at least in the released volume format. It is still ongoing, so we don't know when it's gonna end. But as of now, there is 26 singles volumes out. Okay? So just remember that. As of today, there is 26 volumes out of JoJolion or JoJolion or however you're gonna pronounce it. Now I understand that when a series is still releasing, the English release is gonna often be like a year behind. I do not mind that we have a leeway of 3 to 4 volumes to catch up to the latest release of the Japanese volumes. I do not mind that, but follow me here. Okay, so these volumes, as I said before, they are 2-in-1. So of all the parts that is out right now, we can at least divide it by 2-ish, and then we know exactly how many volumes of these there's gonna be, and then by using exceptional math, we can then calculate how long it's gonna take this to release them in hardcover in English. So here are the data. So when we get to August, this is gonna release the part 5 of JoJo's Golden Wind in this 2-in-1 hardcover edition. It's gonna be great, but there is an issue. And then again, it's release date. So it's gonna take this because again, it's a bit difficult to calculate how many of these is gonna be because there are 17 of the Japanese singles. So it's either gonna be 8 volumes or 9 volumes, depending on how they're gonna divide it up. Anyway, so if we say they're gonna be 8 volumes, it's gonna take them 2 years to release Golden Wind. If that's gonna be 9, then it's gonna take them 2 years and 3 months until they have released Golden Wind. Okay? I'm just gonna put this down because I'm kind of holding it. So you can already see an issue here because that was just part 5. At least it's gonna take 2 years to get all of part 5 released. Then you have part 6, which again is roughly the same length as part 5. So depending if there's gonna be 8 or 9 of the 2-in-1s, it's gonna again take between 2 years and 2 years and 3 months, in addition to the already 2 years to 2 years and 3 months of part 5. But we are not done yet because part 7 is longer than part 5 and part 6. There actually exist 24 volumes of the singles in Japanese. So that's gonna take 3 years to release, in addition to the amount of time you've already waited for part 5 and part 6. And part 8 right now has 26 volumes released, so just to release what we have right now in hardcovers, 2-in-1 editions, we're gonna wait 3 years and 3 months until we have released everything that is in part 8. So you can quickly see my issue, right? Because once we have gotten part 5 released, part 5, even though we are in the second half of the number of parts in JoJo's, we are roughly actually halfway through the volume content, the amount of volumes available for JoJo's. So we're only halfway through once we have gotten part 5 out. That is insane. So just think about it. Before you are able to read whatever there is available of JoJo's in Japan right now, you're gonna wait between 10 years and 3 months and 10 years and 9 months. Not from now, but from August here in 2021. Or let me just put it in a different way. You can expect to have what is available now in JoJolion Part 8. Up until then, everything in the 2-in-1 hardcovers. You can expect to have that released by this November 2031, or if parts 5 and 6 is gonna be 9 and not 8 volumes, you're gonna have to wait until May 2032. Just think about that. How crazy that is. It is available right now, but this is stupidly slow in releasing these volumes, and that is my issue. Again, I understand we cannot catch up exactly to Part 8 right now because Japan needs to be ahead, sure, but there is no excuse why we are not at Part 8, at least in the hardcovers right now. You need to speed up 10 years. It is insane to think about. Again, can it get worse? It depends on your priorities. I mean, I think this is the abomination. 10 years until what is available right now in Japan, it's too long. Even if you released 1 volume each month of the Japanese just translated, it will still be immensely quicker than what they're doing right now. Obviously, you're gonna get 12 volumes worth each year instead of 8 volumes worth. So it's fucking hell. Okay, I'm gonna jump to the next one because I don't want this video to be too long. Just so you can understand my frustrations and why these publishers need to hurry the fuck up, because there's no excuse. Alright, the final 2 series I'm gonna talk about irritates me in a different way. It still irritates me. The first one is Soul Eater. So Soul Eater has already been released by, I think it's Yen Press here in English. So you can already buy the 25 volume that exists of Soul Eater. Fine, awesome. But now Square Enix has started releasing the perfect edition of Soul Eater in English. And unlike Dark Horse, at least, they're actually updating the translations of Soul Eater so they are more accurate and better, apparently. So fine, it's gonna take a bit extra time. I understand that. So for each volume, you're gonna take at least the same amount of time as you took beforehand when translating, okay? But anyway, so what is my issue here? Well, Japan already has these, of course, because that's how it works. When Japan gets an awesome release, English, or the English audience fans might get an English version of that release. We're getting that here. So there are gonna be 17 of these, and Japan has already gotten them. They are reasonably new, so that is why it's probably gonna take some time to actually make these. But again, let's look at the facts here. So Japan started releasing their edition of the Perfect Edition in July 2019 and was finished in March 2020. That gives them a release schedule of 9 months for 17 volumes. So that is roughly 2 a month. Okay, fair enough. I understand that the Japan edition didn't need to update translation since it was originally in Japanese. Fine, but 9 months. Just remember that. Now, Square Enix is gonna release roughly, I mean, their release schedule for these is all over the fucking place, but as of now, it's gonna be roughly 1 every 4 months. It's gonna be 17 of these. Okay, so again, I did the math. It's gonna take Square Enix to release this series that already exists in English. Okay, it's gonna take them 5 years and 8 months. 5 fucking years. We're gonna get the 17th volume late in March 2026. We're talking about a series that already exists in here. Again, I understand you're updating translations, but it's not taking you 4 fucking months to update translations of what is basically 1 1/3 volume of content. I refuse to believe that. It is no excuse. So from 9 months to 5 years and 8 months. Okay, they're basically just slapped 5 years on top of that. It should be released 1 every month, so you will get 17 months of this, because it is not that thick. And I know, I understand it takes time to translate, it takes time to update translation, especially because it is difficult to translate from Japanese to English. Yes, but again, it's not 5 years and 8 months of work to do that with these. It just isn't. And you can't say, well, we need to update the design of the book. No, because you're taking the template from the Japanese one, just removing the Japanese text in here, putting the English text on there, and then you call it a day. Again, I know and understand there's more of logistics aspects to this, but I refuse to believe that it's 5 years and 8 months of work and it can't be done quicker. Just flat out, no. Inexcusable. It should not take that long. And I'm just quickly gonna go over here, because it's gonna be the same basically, because I'm just gonna talk about Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Edition. Again, a series that has been collected in 3 different ways in English. Okay, 2 of them are the same, but Full Metal Alchemist. Awesome series. I love it. Now, in English, you can get it in 3 ways. Technically 4 with this one. But you can get it by buying the singles, you can get it by buying the box set, which is technically just the singles put it into a box set, and you can get it by buying the 3-in-1 omnibuses. Okay, fine. And then you have the Full Metal Edition. Now, again, Japan got these as well, so we needed to get them as well. So, fine. And just with the Soul Eater Perfect Edition, this we updating the translations. Again, fine. The release rate, however, again, it's not unexcusable, because it's 1 every 3 months these are going to release. There are going to be 18 of these because they exist 18 in Japan, okay? And the original release run from Japan was, I'm looking over here because I have it on the screen. The original Japan run was 1 year and 3 months. It ran from June 2011 to September 2012. Okay, so it's a bit time ago. But anyway, that's how long it took. Again, I understand they don't need to update translation or anything, it's just the book. But at least it shows how efficient they are at actually producing it. Once they know the format of it, it's just by putting the stuff in there and print it and ship it. So, the English release from this, how long it's gonna take? It's gonna take 4 years and 3 months. We should have the final volume in late August next year, so late August 2022. Again, just as with Soul Eater, it shouldn't take that long to update the translations in. It is 1 1/3 volume omnibus, if you can call it, in here. That is what it is. Nothing more, nothing less. But it takes them so long to release it, and it's the same with Soul Eater and other stuff. And my frustration is that there's nothing epic and extra special about this edition, except that the paper quality is a bit better. It is in hardcover, and it is a tad bigger depending on which series you're talking about, but that is it. You shouldn't have to wait and build up hype for 3 to 4 months between each release, because why? Why would you? Again, if you think back to, was it 2010, I think, around 9 or 10. This was pumping out 3 or 4 volumes of One Piece and of Naruto to catch up with the Japanese release, because otherwise they were releasing 1 volume each 4 months, 3 months, 4 months. It was ridiculous. So they were able to translate that much content in that short time span and pumping out the volumes so they could catch up, so they generally had a bigger backlog so they could sell more. But they're not doing it here because it is in high cover, so I think they can get away with trying to hype up, hey, you're gonna get a hardcover release of Blade of the Immortal. Aren't you hype? In 4 months you're gonna get the next volume, and after that in 4 months, even though that the content already exists in a smaller paperback volume format, which has awesome spines, by the way. The reason I'm getting the deluxe edition is just because 1, the paperback version is often out of print, and 2, I am a sucker for hardcovers, but that is basically it. It shouldn't take that long. And that is pretty much my main takeaway from this rant of a video I've just made, is that that release schedule is inexcusable. It's undefensible. It shouldn't take that long to release that content that already exists. Now again, I understand we cannot catch up completely to the Japanese release. Of course, that's not one of my complaints, but my complaint is that just to catch up to JoJo's current release from now is gonna take over 10 years, and by that point they are gonna be done with part 8. We might even have a part 9, or part 8 is gonna be the final one, who knows, but nevertheless it's gonna take over 10 years just to get what is available right now. You should get 1 volume each month, especially with the singles, until you're caught up. I know Germany and also Denmark, when there was actually manga in Denmark, when they got a new series, it was 1 volume each month. My Dragon Ball collection, they released 1 volume each month, and again that means 42 months of volumes. It's gonna take a while, right? Okay, it's over 3 years to get all of Dragon Ball, but at least it was 1 volume each month. You didn't have to wait that long to catch up, and this is just too long, especially for existing series and such. So that's just my quick rant. I will very much love to hear your thoughts about these and also other series that you are feeling this frustration as well. Now, just to clarify, for example, Vinland Saga. I'm not complaining about Vinland Saga's slow release because first of all, it is a monthly series in Japan. Second of all, this is 2-in-1 volume collection. So we first need, 2 volumes in Japanese to get out. And again, since it is a monthly series, it's gonna take a long time before there is enough content to put into 2 volumes. So I'm not bitching about that. I'm bitching about when you have that much content left to actually put into your mangas. Pick up the fucking pace. No excuses. It should be 1 every fucking month, especially Dark Horse. They have no excuse since they're not updating shit. But I think the same with Soul Eater and Full Metal Alchemist. It should be 1 each month. But that is just my take. I just needed to get this out of me because I have been furious about this since November, December last year, and I just had to put it into something well constructed. Oh, this is not well constructed. Anyway, I'm rambling, so I need to stop this because I also have a manga haul to record. So anywho, what is your thought about this topic? Do you want me to cover other topics similar to this? And I'm just looking forward to reading about your frustrations about this, or if you don't agree with my frustration, who knows. But whatever you think, comment on me your thoughts. As always, I'll see you next video. Remember to stay awesome. Bye! I am sweating like a motherfucker.